topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is my 13th year with Ask the Experts. We're down here in South Florida, so we do get hurricanes. But this is the first time, I think, in 13 years, if you've been reading the Tampa area is supposed to get hit really hard, and we've already had our second half expert contact us and said there's no way we can do the show, but there's one person that we can always count on, and that's Ray Ferrara with Provise Management Group. Good morning, Ray.
Morning, Stephen. It is I'd like to say it's a nice Monday, but it's a concerning Monday. You're right. I'm looking right now out over Clearwater Beach, which was devastated in Helene, as well as much of the west coast here in Pinellas County. And it looks like we're in for another issue. At the moment, I guess the storm is supposedly going into Sarasota, which means it won't be as bad up here, but it's going to be devastating wherever it hits, exactly. given the force of the storm, et cetera. So hearts just go out to all of those that are going to be affected, and just say, be careful, take care of yourself. Property can be replaced, but life can't.
Exactly. And we absolutely, you were in our prayers just a couple of weeks ago with Helene. And look at the destruction that has caused. And, for some reason, Ray, I'm really worried about this one. So please be safe. And we're so glad you're here with us this morning. Well,
the show must go on, as they say, Steve.
Well, I got to tell you, you are a real trooper. I'm getting letters, it seems like just about every day now, people who are finding your show, love your show, Ray. So let's tell people, since we're getting so many new viewers and listeners, tell people about Provise Management Group.
Stephen, thank you. Provise Management Group is a financial planning and investment management firm with offices in Clearwater and Tampa, Florida. We're serving about 1,100 families scattered over 34 states. Obviously, the vast majority are here in Florida, and the vast majority of those are in the Tampa Bay area. But we work with folks from all around the country. Currently, we're helping those families with about $1.8 billion of total assets under management as of the end of June. And we are a financial planning firm first and foremost. As we see investment management, estate planning, retirement planning, education planning, asset protection, and the list goes on, all as subsets of the financial plan, because we believe those who have a plan and a written plan have greater odds of success than those that have no plan or an unwritten plan. So anybody who would like to learn more about us, certainly you can go to our website, www.provise.com. That's PROVISE.com. Or give us a call at 727-441-9022, 727-441-9022. We always offer a complimentary 1-hour consultation in our Tampa Clearwater office or by Zoom. So you don't have to be in the Tampa area to give us a call and take advantage of that 1-hour complimentary consultation.
Yeah, Ray, I don't want to divert from the show, but just curiosity, because I mean, everything in the news is about FEMA right now. And we feel so bad for especially the people in the Carolinas, North Carolina, seeing how FEMA has handled the situation or not handled the situation. And you've got a hurricane coming right at your way. Does that bother you, scare you?
Well, clearly not having resources available following a storm wherever it lands and creates damage is going to be very important, and particularly if there is a large storm surge again this time, which appears that there will be in those areas that have already been hit hard, because there's still a lot of junk on the side of the roads and everything, and the water lifts that up and moves it again. We're right back to where we were. I want to say that, I think FEMA, there's no way they can win. They can only move so fast. And when you look at the devastation, particularly in North Carolina and in Georgia, it's hard to move that much that fast, particularly with all those roads out, et cetera. Could they have done better jobs? I'm sure any of us would say we could have done a better job after the fact. But I will say, here in Florida, I am very impressed with how Governor DeSantis has handled these disaster type situations in the past with his team. He's constantly been in the forefront. He's managed to get the resources. I mean, I think back to 2 years ago with the Hurricane Ian wiping out the bridge out to Sanibel, and within a week or 10 days, they had a temporary bridge in place to get supplies and resources onto the island and people off of the island. In his press conference yesterday, I thought he did an outstanding job of making sure that he understood what was happening and how to be prepared, et cetera. He's worked with the electrical companies to bring people back to this area because there's no doubt that power is going to go out. So whatever the resources are that are available, we'll take. And I know that the governor here and the local officials in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County are adequately prepared. And if necessary, I'm sure FEMA will be able to direct some resources here as well. At least I hope so. I don't know any of that for a fact, obviously, but I certainly hope so and have faith that that will happen.
Well, I learned something new I didn't even know there was a such thing as a temporary bridge, but I heard the governor talking yesterday, and they're sending these temporary bridges to North Carolina. I didn't even know that even existed.
Yeah, it's quite amazing what they've been able to do.
Well, given that Helene devastated much of the west coast of Florida, and now Milton's on the way, it seems like the loss of life and property are meaningful. Is there any way that these losses can be written off on taxes?
But Steve, one of the shocks for most people, certainly from Helene, is that most of the damage that occurred was not the result of rain, water coming down, nor was it the result of wind damage. It was a result of storm surge. And that rising water is not covered by most homeowners' policies. In fact, I don't know of any that are. If you wanted coverage, you had to get flood insurance, and the flood insurance only provides $250,000 worth of protection, and $100,000 for contents, $250,000 for the structure and $100,000 for the contents. Neither one of which is adequate in many homes to replace the devastation that was created as a result of the storm surge. One is not covered by insurance. We find that they will be able to. I'm going to move just a little bit. It looks like we're having a little bit of a storm here and it's causing some issues with the Wi-Fi. But to the extent that you're not covered by insurance, then you will be able to deduct off of your taxes as a casualty loss. And that will be how you will be able to have Uncle Sam be able to pay for part of what is happening as a result of the loss that has occurred. So you can deduct it of your taxes. There are some limits as regards to that, but that's one way to do it. And Steve should talk about the fact that as a result of Helene and the damage in Florida, most of Florida, all of Georgia, North Carolina, and some in Alabama and South Carolina, they have extended the tax deadlines for both the payment of quarterly payments as well as any tax returns that are due. And you really need to visit with your CPA, your tax advisor, to find out exactly how it affects you. So I would encourage everybody, if you have not done your taxes yet, which normally would be done by the 15th of October, you'd have to have your extension tax done. That's been delayed once, and now it's been delayed a second time. So be sure to visit with your tax advisor to find out exactly what you have to do or not do. And the only thing I would say is that if you delay your quarterly payment for September, the next one in January, the next one in April, and then do the one that's due in June, those are 4 payments that you're going to have to do, which means that you better have a lot of cash sitting around and need to plan for that, which is very unfortunate for all of those people that are spending money just to find a place for themselves to live at this point.
It's funny, we're talking about hurricane. We just got a text. Somebody wants to know, if we take this money from FEMA, they're offering us, it's considered a loan. So do we not have to pay taxes on that?
So if it's a loan, you will not have to pay taxes on that for sure, if it's a loan. If it is in any way not a loan, if it's a grant of some type, et cetera, if it's then you would have to declare it as income. If it's a gift from somebody, not an organization, but a gift from someone that provides money to you, you don't have to pay income taxes on that either. But you need to really check with your tax advisor because every situation and every type of quote loan unquote or gift needs to be scrutinized very carefully.
Bobby in Venice, given the increase to taxes being proposed by Harris, should I convert my IRA in a Roth IRA?
Oh, wow. That's about as close to politics as I want to get, Steve. So the short answer is maybe. First of all, the election right now is only a few weeks away. So I definitely would not do anything between now and the election. My sense is at this point that regardless of whether former President Trump or Vice President Harris is elected to the White House, that the Congress is going to be split. And if the Congress is split, then it is very unlikely that either Trump or Harris will get all that they want in their proposed tax packages, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. If, however, Harris were to win and Congress was Democratic for both the House and the Senate, then I think it makes sense to evaluate your individual situation about whether you ought to convert your IRA or some portion of your IRA into a Roth IRA. There's little question in my mind that people will find themselves in higher tax brackets should the Democrats sweep the House, the Senate, and the White House. Probably for those that are at the upper end of the income scale and the net worth scale, they will be mostly affected. So, excuse me, in those situations, if you're in one of those upper two tax brackets, certainly something that you should sit down with your financial advisor, your tax advisor, and try to make some good educated guesses as to what would happen. The only good news would be that if a tax package is enacted, it likely would not go into effect until 26. So there may even be an extra year in there to think about converting an IRA over to a Roth IRA. But again, talk with your financial advisor, talk with your tax advisor.
We have a text from Mark in West Palm Beach. Great show. I'm so glad that you're delivering your show today. I enjoy it every month. My question is, how do you plan with so close to the elections? You're in the business of planning. How do you plan when so much is up in the air?
Mark, thanks for the question. The plan in most situations for us is that if you have a good asset allocation in your portfolio and you have adequate liquidity, making any changes as a result of the election probably does not make sense. We just finished writing a paper on does it make a difference who's president to the markets? And when you go back, traditionally it's thought that the market responds better to a Republican president than to a Democratic president. But interestingly, that's not necessarily the case. And just even taking a recent example, back in 2016, when President Trump was elected, there was a sense that the oil and gas industry would do extremely well. In fact, under his 4 years, they did very poorly as it related to their stocks. And when President Biden came into office, because of his green initiatives, et cetera, it was thought that the oil and gas industry would not do well. Well, just the opposite occurred. They've done very well over the past 3.5 years since he went into office. You could go back and look at the Clinton years and the Obama years, where each of those 8 years were up dramatically, versus the guy squeezed between those two, President Bush, who had one of the poorest 8 years on record for any president. So the key is the markets do care who is president, and they do care about policy, but the economy is bigger than whoever's in the White House at the end of the day and over time. So don't make any short-term decisions if you've got a good long-term plan. And that's the key. Your plan, you have to take the emotion out of your investing, and that's what a plan will do for you if you have a plan. And speaking of that, Stephen, just to remind everybody, we offer a 1-hour free consultation in either our Clearwater or Tampa office or by Zoom for those that are outside of the Tampa Bay area. And all you have to do is call us at the office, 727-441-9022, 727-441-9022, and we'll be happy to set up that 1 hour consultation. Or if you first want to learn a little bit more about us, go to provise.com. That's PROVISE.com. PROVISE.com. Be delighted to sit down and chat. And if we can't help you, maybe we can direct you to someone who can.
Ray, I always like asking you this towards the end of the show, and I haven't really asked you in a while, but why should I hire Provise?
Thank you for the question. I think that there's a number of reasons. First of all, as I said at the beginning, we are a financial planning firm. We are not selling a whole bunch of products on a commission basis. We are fiduciaries. We have to act in your best interest at all times, putting ours to the side. It's not just me that's at Provise. There are 14 advisors at Provise, backed up by 17 wonderful folks that make the place continue to hum on a day-to-day basis. And you'll find that the experience that we have at Provise, I can't say is unrivaled, but it certainly is going to be hard to beat. The experience that exists at Provise from a planning and an investment management standpoint. And I think perhaps one of the most important things that I can say as to whether all of this works or not, Stephen, is that in an industry that has turnover that approaches 10 to 12% every year of clients being lost, we have historically lost 3% of our clients. Wow. From 1 year to the next for well over 10 or 12 years now. And if people were not happy with the services that we provide, they would be leaving much faster than that. And by the way, that includes people who move away, that's people who pass away, people who get divorced, for all the reasons that somebody might leave us. It's not because they're upset. Not all of them are even close to being upset with us. So we're very proud of that record. It says if our clients are happy, they're staying with us and they're not leaving.
Ray, give everybody your phone number and your website address.
Sure. It's 727-441-9022. That's 727-441-9022. Just give our office a call and say you'd like to schedule your complimentary consultation. Or you can go to our website at provise.com. That's PROVISE.com.
Ray, I sometimes I don't say this as often as I should. I have so much respect for you and your company. We're so blessed to have you. You were so in our prayers today for you and your family. Please be safe, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
That'll be great. I'll look forward to it. And Steve, I know you're not in the eye of the storm, but be safe as well over the next couple of weeks. And I'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Ray.
You take care now.
That's Ray Ferrara, Provise. They're unbelievable. They are probably, we have others around the country, other shows in other states. This is truly my favorite. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we have our personal injury gals. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.